grab a Bible just for a minute. Go to Matthew chapter 21. Matthew 21, we're just going to read two verses. Matthew 21, verse 15 and 16. I'm just going to read it for the sake of time. It says, and when the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, look at this next phrase, it says, and the children crying in the temple and saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were sore displeased. Look at verse 16. It says, and said unto him, hearest thou now what these say? And Jesus saith unto them, yea, have ye never read, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings thou hast perfected praise. I think it's interesting, the only time in the Bible where it talks about perfected praise is when it comes from the mouth of young people. And it's happening in church. It says in verse 15, and the children crying in the temple. And that's what we're doing tonight, is just kind of praising God for what God did. And it's a good thing. God calls it perfected praise. And so we had a great week at camp. We had Charlie Clark up there preaching, and we had an 8-hour bus drive that turned into 13 hours both ways, and it did not help me grit and go any relationships. So normally, be quiet, sit down, go to sleep. Amen. Which that doesn't happen. But no, we had a great trip. We went to Las Vegas, New Mexico, and man, one thing that this campground, it was like you were talking about a hike. Every time you left your cabin, you were on a hike, and they were not joking. We're about 8,000 feet, and I was dead. Okay, every night you lay down in your cabin, dreading going to eat. And dreading going to challenge it. It was a great time. We had a great group, and we're missing quite a few that were there, but we had a great time. And Brother Clark preached, and I'll just say this: right before when he got up and preached the first night, he probably went to 30 to 40 verses in the Bible. And normally at teen conferences and teen camps, they tell more stories to keep them engaged or are funny. And really, he wasn't. He was just really biblical. And that was Monday night, and Tuesday night the same thing. And both those nights, and really all throughout the week of camp, whenever there was an altar call, probably 10 kids out of 100 or however many there were remained in their seats. And pretty much everybody was down at the altar making decisions or just praying. And that was encouraging to see. And our kids made a lot of great decisions. And so we'll just start. How about you guys come up here and you can stand behind the platform. We'll start with you, Autumn. And come on up, tell us your name, and tell us something fun, and then a decision that you made, okay? I'll hold the mic.
My name's Autumn. One of the best parts was probably seeing all the teenage guys run from the...
Wait, whoa. God moved in a mighty way in Autumn's life. She wants to go to every conference now too, Brother Daniel. All right, try that again. Let's rephrase that one, huh?
Seeing them run from the spider, and then calling Andrea to come kill it.
Okay, so Wednesday night, priestess sermon, we stayed in the chapel, and the boys saw a spider, and there were some massive bugs up there. They were huge, and somebody stepped on it, and as soon as they stepped on it, baby spiders went everywhere. And the Holy Spirit moved mightily in that meeting as well.
One of my decisions was to be a better prayer warrior and also to chase after God rather than worldly things like fame and comfort and stuff. And my favorite message was probably the one on the chasing carrots with chasing after God rather than the worldly items.
Amen.
My name is Nathaniel. My favorite part was the rappelling and the ropes course. And my favorite sermon was Brother Ryan's sermon about relating the fight against the devil with Joshua and him leading and fighting. And my decision was to be more meek.
Nathaniel got to go rappelling, and they only took, I think, a couple of seniors rappelling, 12 or 13. And Nathaniel was one of the chosen ones, and went down a 200-foot drop, roughly 200 feet. And he came back excited. I went. But yeah, it was awesome. They had a cool ropes course, and that was pretty fun to watch. And emphasis on the watch.
My favorite part was playing paintball. Okay. Okay. There was a pastor, and his name is Pastor Reyes, and he was coming up from the side in the bushes. So I have never played paintball before. So I was just shooting in that general direction, and apparently I hit him in the neck. And it was so cool, because,
She shot him right in the Adam's apple, and he had this massive welt, bruised skin, blood. Yeah, the rest of the week, it was awesome.
my decision was to be more me.
Shooting pastors and decide to be me. That's the definition.
I didn't see him. I didn't aim directly for his neck. And I don't really have a favorite sermon. All of them were really good, but I would say the ones that spoke to me the most would be the first one about meekness, and the last one Brother Clark preached about being zealous for God.
Ashton.
My name's Ashton. My favorite part would probably be paintball, but there's like a story I want to say with that. So I don't know who shot me, but they shot me like right in the chest, right up here. So I put my hands up. I'm in the middle of the field, in the middle. Everybody can see me. I'm like 6'1", the tallest guy there. Everybody can see me. I start turning around, and some jerk shoots me in the back 4 times. Oh my gun is in the air. I turn around, and I'm about to shoot this kid, and I realize it's my brother. It was Brendan. Yes, it was. But anyway, my favorite sermon would probably be the one by Pastor Reyes. It was like, what would you do for God if you weren't afraid to do it? And it goes on with my decisions. I'm terrified of public speaking, and I've been fighting it for like 2 years now. The first time I came to this pulpit was preaching, so I started preaching.
My name is Faith, and I'd say the most fun part was probably the hike to the bear cave, because that was awesome too. A decision I made was probably to listen to my parents more, and my favorite sermon was probably the Wednesday night sermon, because it was the one, but the one that we went to the down the path.
I'm Allison. My favorite part of camp was probably playing Clue in real life. My decision was to forgive my mom for things that she's done. My favorite sermon was from Pastor Charlie Clark about forgiveness.
This was Selah's first time with us at camp.
Selah.
Selah. Selah. She was called a lot of things. Awesome.
My favorite part of camp.
You gotta say your name so we know how to say it.
My favorite part of camp was going to paintballing. Because I've never done it before. And that's really fun.
We could have Samara or Miss Deora come up here and explain it for you.
My favorite. Oh wait, there's one. My favorite sermon was the one where he was saying, we're staying separate because we're afraid of. We're just afraid of letting ourselves go because we don't want to give up what we want from the Lord. And Brother Ryan asked me on a scale of 1 to 10 if I wanted to be a 10 out of 10 Christian, or if I just wanted to be one, non-existent. And I
I want to be a 10, but I want to go through with that instead of just saying it so I can please others around me and just please others around me.
It's awkward when you like Abby. Abby is a 7th grader, and man, we had quite a few 7th graders, and they act like 7th graders. It's awesome. 13-hour bus ride. All right.
So my favorite part was probably he was either playing paintball or being told by brother Matt that I jumped off that I did the ropes course faster than the senior high boys. My favorite sermon was probably "Hope in the Storms" by Brother Clark. And one of the decisions I made was to remember that there are people around me to help me through the storms.
Savannah.
My name's Savannah, and one of my favorite parts of camp was rappelling and paintballing. And one of the decisions I made was to start coming back to church more faithfully because I've been missing. And my favorite sermon was the storms and knowing that there is people around me to help me and I'm not alone, and that God's definitely there to help me through my storms.
I'd like to introduce you to a new person. This is the new Andrea that loves God and isn't afraid to tell the world about it. I resurrendered my life to Christ this week, and I'm planning on following through with that and doing all my decisions because I want to, not because I feel like I have to. My favorite part, I have two. Probably leaving Ethan in the house for a paintball with like no ammunition at all. So probably that, or the hike was really fun too, and I got to meet a lot of new people, so that was cool. And then my favorite sermon was.
Who'd you meet, Andrea? Teen camp is great. It is so fun. It's so easy to embarrass, especially teenagers. It's awesome. It's the best part of being a youth pastor is just making moments awkward.
Probably my favorite sermon was either the one by Brother Lenentine when he preached on the liberties and not where you can go as far as you want, but you should like limit yourself, kind of, or the one on hope, having hope through the storms.
My name is Summer Rosenbach, and my favorite part about camp was probably playing basketball with Andrea because I'm really bad at it. And then my favorite sermon was the one by Brother Clark on Wednesday night about finding hope through the storms. And then I made two decisions. One was to be more forgiving, and then on Wednesday night, I got saved.
Amen.
I'm Jasmine, and the best part of the week was probably Clue. That was really fun, like in person. And my favorite sermon was the one that Brother Clark preached about storms and how God is there to help you, and like if you're going through hard times. And the decision I made was to push people away and try to get me to do things that I shouldn't
Everybody turn around. This will help us. Do you need a minute? Okay, we'll come back to it. Elena has this crippling thing. It's called laughter. Whenever she laughs, nothing else can happen. So, yeah. All right, so wait, come on. We'll come back to it.
Okay, so my favorite memory was probably one of the nights me, Andrea, and Jasmine, we were just, I guess you could call it dancing. But we were just kind of like dancing in their room and kind of just mocking people that walk really funny. Like me, they were mocking me and it was really mean, but
Just wanting at bugs, not each other, okay? As everyone's wondering.
And watching Miss Kelsey trying to kill a scorpion. I don't know, it was just really fun. I don't know, every night we were just really hyper. We never wanted to go to bed. And Miss Kelsey just annoying Miss Kelsey, but Miss Kelsey had a great attitude about it. And every morning Miss Kelsey would just wake up with such a good attitude.